In the high-stakes world of Formula One, every second counts. The same applies to the fast-paced world of startups, where time is everything. Let's say you need an advisor agreement. There's no time to wait a week for it to be drafted. So you turn to the internet for quick and easy templates. It's fast, simple, and ready to use. But are you confident it has everything you need?
And are all templates made the same? In the world of startups, it is common for startups to download a template online and use the free template to hire an advisor. After all, what could go wrong? Let's take the fictional example of Mr. Tito Fox, Austrian billionaire, motorsport executive, and ex-racing driver. Mr. Tito Fox was hired by Merz, a motorsports racing startup, as a key advisor. Well, they wanted things fast, so they downloaded the FAST agreement and signed him on as an advisor. After all, what could go wrong? As it turns out, Mr. Tito Fox also was advising their competitor, Red Cows, and then subsequently goes on to invest in Feuds because he has a secret relationship with one of the racing drivers, Charles. And that could have been prevented if the advisor agreement that Merz gave Mr. Tito Fox contained a conflict of interest clause that one stated that Merz's permission would be required before Mr. Tito Fox invests in any other competitor, and two, that required Mr. Tito Fox to disclose any competing interests that he may have, including advising competitors. As with most cash-strapped startups, advisors were paid in shares. As Mr. Tito Fox met his advisory milestones, Merz proceeds to issue shares to Tito Fox, and he becomes a 2% shareholder with ordinary shares and voting rights. 3 months into the stint, things start getting messy. Rumors start circulating that Mr. Tito Fox is actually in a relationship with Feuds' most good-looking driver. And no, that's not Daniel Ricciardo, that is Charles. And then Merz gets wind from one of the engineers at Red Cow that actually Tito Fox was advising them as well. Merz starts getting suspicious, wondering why Red Cow has been winning all the podium positions whilst Merz has only had engine failures. Merz starts panicking and demands that Mr. Tito Fox return his advisor shares and terminates the agreement immediately. But hold on. There was no clause in the original advisor agreement that gave them the contractual right to claw back those shares. In fact, the company secretary refused to lodge any share transfers unless they saw the share transfer form signed by Mr. Tito Fox. Desperate for new sponsorships, Merz decides to let this go, allow Mr. Tito Fox to keep his advisor shares, and simply terminate his advisor agreement. After all, what else could go wrong? Merz starts fundraising for their Series B fundraising round, and things start getting exciting. They get a key investment from billionaire investor Mark Zuckerberg, a $20 million check. In fact, Mark Zuckerberg is ready to wire the funds and sign the documents. Little did they know, Mark Zuckerberg and Mr. Tito Fox have a lot of beef that went all the way to the university days, because Mark Zuckerberg's current wife was actually Tito Fox's first love. In fact, she cheated on Tito Fox with Mark Zuckerberg and was the reason for him turning gay. When Tito found out that Mark was the one leading the Series B fundraising round for Merz, he flew into a huge rage. He refused to sign a shareholders agreement and participate in any shareholder or investor meetings. Merz was confused. This was a good development for the company and good for the valuation of the company. Confused and desperate for cash, they proceed to issue shares to Mark and hold a shareholders meeting without Tito. After all, that was the right thing to do. Tito then sues Merz for minority shareholder oppression. Now, all these things could have been avoided if the advisor agreement made it clear that Tito was actually issued ESOP shares, for example, and the ESOP shares that will be given to Tito will be segregated in a separate ESOP vehicle. Or if the advisor agreement made it clear that Tito's shares would have to be returned to Merz if A, he starts advising other competitors, or B, starts having questionable close relationships with other racing drivers. These are just some of the tools and tactics that we can use to avoid a nasty situation, to avoid our blind spots when shares are involved and competition is very, very tight. At FD Lite, we have curated templates based on the stage of your startup, intensifying the comprehensiveness of templates where, for example, shares are involved to reduce future roadblocks. Because, let's face it, no startup wants to spend their time arguing over advisor shares in a courtroom. You want to build, operate, and celebrate on the fundraising round.
In Formula One, every detail matters. A slight misstep in strategy or a missing component can mean the difference between the podium and a disastrous DNF. Did not finish. Startups are like F1 teams. Speed without strategy leads to disaster. The fast agreement may seem quick, but for Merz, missing a conflict of interest clause was like a pit crew without a plan. Chaos. No buyback rights, like racing with the wrong tires. Shareholder disputes, an engine failure mid-race. Every clause is like a finely tuned part of an F1 car. At FD Lite, we provide templates and peace of mind so you can focus on winning races, landing deals, and making your startup dreams a reality. Let's get you to the podium. Visit FD Lite today and put your startup on the path to victory.